All right. Hey guys, I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everyone's having a great Thanksgiving week, and I hope you guys get to have a great Thanksgiving, even if it's limited in some way or fashion. So, today we're going to talk all about journaling. Last time we talked about prehab, we talked about goal setting, we've talked about planning for the season, and so today's kind of the fourth installment of this, and we are talking about journaling. Now, there's two types of journaling, okay? General types of journaling. Number one, which is the one I'm not going to be talking about, would be more of the mental health side of things. And if you guys want to learn more about that, I can suggest that to Rebecca, and I can have her do a video for you guys about mental health journaling. You just gotta let me know, okay? But today, I'm going to be talking about more of the physical injury prevention, risk of injury type journaling that we use. A lot of people will use this in their gyms in paper charts, and we'll talk all about that. But first, let me know if you can hear me. That would be great. I was going to use a mic today, but then my iPad was about to die, so I had to plug that up instead of using the mic. So I hope that you can hear me well. And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and comment replay there. If you're watching live, reach out to me. Let me know that you're here. I would love to know that you got to see this. And then last thing is keep inviting people to the group. We've had a couple of people invite people into the group. I am all out of friends to invite. I've invited as like my entire gymnastics related friends list. So make sure that you guys are inviting people into the group so that way more people can hear about this great information. Or at least I think it's great. If you don't worry about it. Don't invite people. That's fine. Guilt trip. That's what I was going for. All right. So hope everyone is ready to go, and let's talk about journaling. Okay, so you guys should be able to see that slide. Make sure you let me know in the comments if you can't see it. So journaling is used primarily to prevent overtraining. Now, overtraining is not like some sort of catch-all term, kind of like overuse injuries have kind of gotten a bad rap, where the term overuse injury has gotten to be more of a catch-all term for, oh, you have pain and you're a child athlete, it must be overuse, right? So people have kind of gotten sick of the term overuse, or at least it seems like they have. But overtraining, that's completely different. Overtraining is an actual physiological response of the body. And with overtraining, basically all it means is that the body is going through entirely too much stress. It's going through so much stress that it can't keep up with the amount of stress or work that's put on the body. So you're training, you're working hard in the gym, and now all of a sudden your body just can't keep up, and that's when you get into this kind of overtraining response, and that can be really, really bad. That can lead to injuries, that can lead to burnout, that can lead to some other physiological changes like what is that, the female athlete triad, or they call it red S now. So that can lead to those types of problems as well. So we want to be sure that we're paying attention to overtraining signs, and that we monitor them, and so that way we know if our athletes are at risk of that. So this list here of bullet points, this is just basically some general ways that you can recognize overtraining. Now, there are more, and not a single one of these actually indicates overtraining, but is basically if they have multiple of them, or if you see a combination of them, then you can say, all right, signs of overtraining, we need to back off. And I'll tell you what that kind of looks like after I go through them. So, mood swings, if you have the perfect little angel that comes into the gym and then all of a sudden they come in with horns holding up their halo, and they're biting your head off after you said to point your toes, that might be a sign of overtraining. Resting heart rate. Resting heart rate might be the most predictive measure of overtraining, but it's also the hardest one to get. So resting heart rate, if the heart rate at rest goes up, then it could be a sign of overtraining. So What this means, though, is that we've got to check it at the right time, and we've got to check it at the same time every day to try and get an accurate measure. Now, with resting heart rate, it's best to check resting heart rate at first thing in the morning. You wake up, you put your feet on the ground, you check your resting heart rate, you write that down. That's the best time to do it. Now, at least, though, make sure they're doing it every time they come into the gym, so that way you have some sort of baseline to check and see how they're doing. Now, the problem with resting heart rate is that it's not going to jump from 65 to 85 beats a minute. That's not going to happen. The problem is with resting heart rate is that it's going to jump from 65 to 69 or maybe 70, right? It's only going to be a few beats bump up. And so that's what makes it really difficult. But if you have some really good data and you go, hey, for the last 2 weeks, your resting heart rate has been 60 beats a minute, and then all of a sudden you checked at the same time, nothing has changed except that all of a sudden your resting heart rate is bumped up to 65 or 67, then you're going to know, hey, that's a definite sign of overtraining. Nagging injuries, so if you get those little knee soreness and then wrist sore and then your ankles are sore, those types of things where you go, hey, our programming looks pretty good, nobody else on team is having problems with this type of stuff, maybe they're just being overtrained. Mental blocks, possibly. There are a million reasons for mental blocks, but if the body can't physically keep up with the amount of workload that's placed on it, then the brain isn't going to be able to keep up either. So mental blocks is definitely a possibility as well. Insomnia, some people think, the harder I work in the gym, the better I'll sleep at night. That's not the case. If you are overtrained, if you're doing too much, then it actually makes it more difficult to fall asleep at night. Getting sick easily. You can hear my voice actually right now. I don't know that I'm sick. I've got some sinus drainage and stuff, but I was staying up late last week, multiple days in a row, not getting enough sleep, and needless to say, I came down with this thing. So definitely not COVID related, don't worry. And you can't catch it through the computer screen, so we're doing okay anyway. But anyway, getting sick easily is definitely one of those things that happens when kids are being overtrained. A plateau, they're getting better, and then all of a sudden for like a week straight, they're making no improvements, they just can't make any changes in the gym. That can be a plateau, that can be a sign. And then weight loss. So there's only so much energy that your body stores in itself, and if it's constantly trying to recover from these hard workouts, then it's going to steal that from somewhere else. It's going to steal that energy from somewhere else, and it can steal it. These girls and guys, they don't have a ton of extra energy stores in the form of fat, and so it's going to steal it from muscles, and so you'll actually see them get weaker and lose some weight over time, which is not good. Now, how do we prevent this from happening? And that is where journaling comes into play. So journaling, we need to track this data in order to stop overtraining before it happens. Now, at the very least, let me switch back over to me because that's kind of done with the slide there. At the very least, we need to make sure that we're doing some sort of paper journals. Now, if you want a copy of a paper journal, then let me know in the comments below. You can just say paper journal in the comments below, and I will get that information to you. I've got a PDF of a little paper journal that I created. It's got 2 columns you can print front and back, and on one piece of paper you can have 4 different days to do your journaling on. So that's one way to do it. It's a good way, but it's not the best way, and let me talk to you about why. So paper journals work, but coaches, you've got to be really diligent about checking on it. Now parents, you could do a paper journal at home as well. That would be just fine. And then you can relay that information to the coach and tell the coach how they're doing. But paper journals, at best, the vast 99% of coaches, at very best, they're gonna check on those journals after practice is over. So at the end of the day, they're gonna look through the journals and see how they were doing that day. At worst, because you guys are still gonna do the paper journals, you're still gonna check on them, because I know you guys are amazing, and you want to keep your kids healthy, happy, and safe. That's why you're in this group. And so at the very worst, you're going to check them once a week on Saturday or something, or on Sunday on your day off. And you're going to go through everybody's journals and see how they're doing. Now, the problem with both of these scenarios is you can miss something, right? If you've got the gymnast that's really good at hiding things, and they put that they got 4 hours of sleep last night. And because I'm about to tell you, you know that if a gymnast doesn't get enough sleep at night, then they're actually 1.7 times more likely to get injured. So they're almost twice as likely to get injured if they're not getting enough sleep at night. But they had to stay up, they had to study for a final, and you didn't realize that until after practice. And you had them do 2 full floor routines that day. You just go, oh my goodness, they didn't get hurt, but they could have, or maybe they did get hurt. And that's the problem with paper journals, is that you catch things a little bit too late. Or if you're checking them at the end of the week, every week, you go, oh my goodness, they were 8 out of 10 stressed out for the entire week. And also, when our athletes are going through times of high academic stress, we know that they're twice as likely to get injured. So twice as likely to get injured when they go through academic stress, almost twice as likely to get injured when they're not getting enough sleep at night. These are just some of the reasons why we need to track this. Now, I'm going to do a little plug here, and I really want you guys to pay attention. So I've developed something called Complete Athlete Tracking. Complete Athlete Tracking. What it is, it's just the electronic version of a paper journal. And the nice thing about it is that you can, your coaches will get immediate notifications if there's something concerning. So basically, they'd come in every day to practice, they'd log in, they'd fill out their form, they'd press submit. Once they press submit, only if there's something concerning, their coaches will get a notification and they'll be able to check on it and see what's going on. So if they get that notification, they know something's up. If they don't get any notifications that day, hey, you're doing great, right? It's going to be a good day. We're going to have a good time at practice. If they get 20 notifications that day, they got to go, whoa, let's take a step back. What is happening with our gymnasts today? So that's called Complete Athlete Tracking. I would love to show anyone a demo of it if you would like it. Just type demo in the comments, and I will be happy to share any of that with you. And the great thing is that it's only $20 per athlete per year. Okay, not even per month. I'm sick of monthly subscriptions. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick of monthly subscriptions. So we're just doing a licensing fee once a year, and it's $20 an athlete per year. And parents, I would love for you to respond to this question. Okay, parents, would you pay $20 a year in order to have your coaches know when your athlete is at most risk for injury? And if that's something, please just type yes, or I would pay $20, whatever that is. I'm not making you commit to anything. Don't worry. I'm not gonna steal out of your PayPal account or anything if you comment. But I would love to know if that sounds beneficial to you. And coaches, if you want to know more about the Complete Athlete Tracking program, please reach out to me. I would love to show you that. Obviously, at $20 an athlete per year, I'm not trying to make millions and millions of dollars off this. I'm really trying to help you guys. So I've already helped out a few gyms doing this, and so I would love to help your gym out with that. So that is what journaling is all about. We're looking for those overtraining signs. We're filling out the paper journals or the electronic journals, and we're trying to figure out when they're most at risk for injury. So that way we can change practice, we can modify it, or we can just send them home early so they can actually get some sleep that night. But that is what journaling is all about. And I would love to help you out in any way. So if you want paper journals, type paper journals below. If you would pay $20, then show your coaches that you're willing to pay $20 for them to know when your athlete is at most risk for injury. Coaches, the Complete Athlete Tracking stuff is not more work on you. Okay, there's some setup stuff, but it's not more work on you. It's just, hey, I finally get to know when my athletes are risking injury, and then I can have that conversation that you would have anyway, but now you get to know when to have it. So that's what it's all about. Please let me know how I can help you. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and look out, tonight I'm going to be launching my new website, so be on the lookout for that. Feel free to scroll around and click on stuff. Everything is working, I believe. So be on the lookout for that tonight. I'll probably launch that around 5 or 6 p.m. tonight. Okay? You guys have a wonderful day, and happy Thanksgiving, and I'm sure I'll say happy Thanksgiving again when the time comes. See you guys.